Do you think we'll get our arses ready for taking the wood?
The boys turned away from the trees they were standing in front of and looked at her. She sat on a pile of wood swinging a hammer, a toolbox beside her. Sean raised a shoulder and gave a lopsided grin. Bit late to be worried about it now. He was the older of the two boys by just a few months. At 15 he was tall and lanky, his blue eyes startling in the grey and foggy Irish afternoon. Jasper made a funny face at Britt. He was a hazel-eyed sprite with red hair, more shocking in hue than her own. The idea was yours. Your arse reddens first. Sean looked at him, his humour intact, the chilly wind lifting his brown hair. It was yourself who lifted the wood. Britt giggled. Besides, it was our idea, Sean insisted, looking back at the giggling girl. You were after needing a place to go, isn't that so, Britt?
That's so,
she said, her smile faltering, but she looked back at him with appreciation. So it is, Sean echoed, then playfully struck Jasper in the arm. Jasper stuck his tongue out at Britt. She giggled again and stuck her tongue out back. Jasper pretended offence and loped across the small clearing toward her. She gave a playful shriek as she fled the pile of wood with a spring, knocking it over. The toolbox landed with a bang and scattered the contents across the soft ground.
Jasper, no,
she screamed laughingly, running from him, the anticipation of being caught and the ensuing tickles already paralysing her. She almost gave up before she put up a fight. Jasper quickly caught her, grabbing her more petite frame up from behind, taking her feet off the ground. She cried out and laughed at the same time. He bore them both to the ground as she kicked and giggled, even though he had yet to start attacking her with his tickling hands. She knew what to expect. They'd been through this exercise too many times. Effortlessly straddling her, having 3 years on her, he attacked her ribs. She shrieked and bucked against him, wildly fighting his hands as she kicked. Her gasping pleas for mercy and belly laughs echoed in the woods, mingling with his laughter. Finally, gasping for air, Britt shrieked out,
I'm going to pee, Jasper. You're going to make me pee.
Both boys laughed.
Sean.
She begged for help, casting a wild glance around. Jasper, that's enough. We've work to be done, Sean intervened. Jasper stopped tickling her reluctantly. He smashed his hand over her face, forcing it to the side. Bratty Brit! But he relented, getting off of her. He stood and then reached down a hand to her. Britt took his hand, allowed him to help her up, and then danced a bit away. As soon as her nervous giggles subsided, she walked up to him and delivered a punch to his arm.
Egypt, you almost had me peeing myself.
He punched her back. Sean stopped them again before they disintegrated into a brawling match next. Stod! Britt, clean the tools. Jasper, climb up and measure that off. See, can we go between these 2 trees? Jasper and Britt gave each other playfully wary glances, but they did as Sean bade. Although Jasper was only a few months younger than Sean, Sean's more serious demeanour made him the natural leader. Left to themselves, Jasper and Britt would either fight or laugh all day. Sean was their guiding force.